unfortunately, racism. She went up to try and help, but they attacked her, robbed her, and destroyed her research.
Get out of here, you backwater net-breaking filthy ill.
We start the collab right after the event of Canto 8 and was immediately swallowed whole by some kind of anomaly, only to end up in some musty beach. But while Dante is recuperating from getting sucked into another dimension, we get to see,
oh my gosh, is that a dog?
It turns out somehow Dante and the rest of the sinners have been transported to one of the worst places to live in Arknights. This place is called Iberia, and we'll get to why it's the worst later on. Amiya radioed the sinners and we get to see serial smoker Gregor and my goat, the nonchalant demon Hong Lu. They basically repeat the same thing about this place not being the usual Limbus Company universe, and Amiya told everyone about how hard it is to even get into Iberia. Sound like we're in the Vietnam custom. This part is pretty much for the Limbus Company players who don't know about Arknights. So to quickly summarize, Amiya is the leader of a pharmaceutical company. I put that in quotes because they've got to have one of the most overpowered workers in the world. Like, imagine if Warner Bros. Owned the US Army. Wait. The group decide to go back to the village to recuperate, and while heading there, we get to run into my two other favorite character. The goat, Yi Sang, and Fish. Already, they're trying to team up with this no-thought head-empty woman with a big sword, and before I go on, I just want you all to know, Skadi canonically has a PhD in engineering. Despite eating whole paper plates and also a nonchalant demon, she's actually pretty cool. But we get to our first fight, and not gonna lie, I found it funny that they just took Arknight's PNG of Amiya and slapped down to the announcer. However, I will give them credit for transferring the nervous impairment mechanic into Limbus Company. While it may be one of the most annoying in Arknights, I always like the idea behind it. These creatures are called the seaborns, or sea terror, and they are literally trying to shut down your nervous system. Like, unless you have the honeyberry, these bastards will give you a bad time. But the fighting is pretty easy, and while we are fighting like 16 of them, Skadi is fighting the other half by herself. Then, Skadi walked up to us, and the first thing out of her mouth was, "You guys are low-key weird." We ended up heading to the village, and when asked for the time, Skadi hit the... She's too funny sometimes. They finally regroup at the village, and we get to see the rest of the sinners. But this place was bad. Somehow, they managed to get a place to sleep for 14 people. Skadi was getting suspicious of these villagers, and I don't blame her. If I learn anything about anime and video games, then it's the fact that if a group of people are being really nice to you, then they're probably trying to rob you. Apparently, the villagers are trying to build a boat or fix it so that they can sail the sea. For what reason? I don't know yet. But just look at this old man and tell me he's not suspicious. I swear, I never trust any characters with their eyes closed as their default. Skadi was like, wait, why is the coast bad? Which made Skadi turn around and wonder how we even understood her. Then she doesn't even answer the question and just left. These Aegirians, man. I'm not sure if they're gonna explain it later on, but Skadi here is from Aegir, and they are a whole race of underwater fish people. No, not those fish people. These ones. They're basically Atlanta, an underwater city that's extremely advanced and think they're better than everyone. However, Skadi is a special case, and we will probably get to that later. Amiya got a fire started, and let me just say, it's not as bad as it looks. I mean, as long as you get some sheets on the ground, the fire going, that's a 3-star hotel at worst. They start to talk about the city and comparing it to Terra, which, to my Arknight viewers, the city is just as terrible. At least Arknight has Rhodes Island that basically does charity work. In the city, we're playing late-stage capitalism, and every single pharmaceutical is overpriced and downright a robbery. Like, for example, we got K-Corp, a company that basically discovered healing pots, and they charge extreme price for the higher quality ones. Then, we also got life insurance from H-Corp where they literally reverse your death. But guess what? Just like real life, those things are bank breakers. So if you aren't in the top 1%, expect to come back brain dead. There's a taboo thing that the city banned for total revives because they worry about true immortality, but you already know those companies abuse the loophole. I know some of you in the comments are saying that the city is way worse, but they're both equally terrible. Maybe I'll make a how do people even live in the city video, who knows. But while they're talking, Don Quixote got too excited and apparently punched a whole wall down, revealing someone who's been listening in. and is this girl, who is way too healthy looking to be a part of the village. Either someone's been skimming the food supply, or again, this village isn't what it seems. But peek the ears real quick. I know this collab isn't supposed to go full deep in the lore of Arknights, and if my assumption is correct, this is the third elf we've ever seen. Amia should be recording this down or something, seeing that a certain person is looking for the remnants of her people. Anyways, this is Mayer's, and she was actually excited to hear Don's story. She explained that she's actually the only young one in this entire village and went on to tell us about the Inquisitors. The Inquisitors were formed after the event of the Profound Silence. They're supposed to be a group that kills seaborns, but you guessed it, there's a cult, and the Inquisitor will kill everyone who worship these things. Meaning, they out here booming innocent people if they suspect you have an inkling of sympathy in you. Which is why, oh yeah, the village chief is her grandpa, which is why her grandpa fled with the rest of the villagers to this rundown village. Yeah, increase that suspicion meter. We get to the next day and the ship is 90% done. So we board the ship and finally get an answer to why the villagers are being so nice. They needed the ship to get to Aegir because Mayer and her grandpa are Aegirian. Wait, hold on. I stand corrected. I'm just a racist. Speaking of racism, we learned that the city only has humans in it, as in they believe humans are the only intelligent beings allowed. So if they catch a creature of a different ethnicity in the vicinity, you best believe they're sending the super soldiers. Anyways, look at the clean interior of this ship. That's gotta be real gold lining in the computers. The village is in desperate need of food and believe that perhaps Aegir will help them since they have 2 Aegirians. I feel like this is kind of a doomed mission, but Amiya is also here, so maybe things will be fine? I don't know the timeline this is supposed to take place in, but Rhodes Island are somewhat friends with Aegir right now. Although before embarking, we gotta defend the ship for the rest of the repair. This time, we got 2 new enemies, the Zerg Rusher and the Seaborn Crashout. Now in Arknights, this guy's the most annoying enemy in the game, mostly because they're tanky while also continuously spreading nervous impairment around. The only good thing is that these guys don't attack unless attacked, and they slowly die over time afterwards. However, they're usually the ones to step into us forcing the aggro mode. Translating, they're actually the instigator claiming self-defense. After successfully repelling the attack with the Seaborns making a tactical retreat, we quickly learn why the Seaborn could be a major threat. Go watch my other video. They have a unique ability to quickly evolve and adapt to anything. And this isn't an individual trait. They spread that info across their brothers and sisters in the hive mind. These big blue bastards are basically mini Maharagas, and mid-battle, they started to learn that the sinners were being commanded by Dante and went after them. But you may be asking, a nightmare, why haven't they overrun Terra yet? First off, how'd you get in my house? Secondly, the only reason why these things haven't become omnipotent yet was because they're kinda dumb, like me. They don't really know when to share anything and kinda just chill and survive. They aren't actually malicious, just legitimate animals with OP abilities.
Alright, all of y'all need to come with me, cause there's no way I've been surviving in this rundown place.
Oh shoot, what do we do, manager? We should just dip. I mean, everything seems to just be going by the law here. Plus, it ain't like N-Corp where the Inquisitors are full-blown clanker haters. Have you guys tried talking? He's right. Then after, let's kill her.
Mr. Honglu is right. Let me try to convince her. And you lots, what y'all doing in the background? And what's with the clockhead? Don't tell me you're an Colombian. Miss Inquisitor, I am Amiya of Rhodes Island. Rhodes Island? That's not from Iberia, which makes you an illegal.
Whoa, okay, let's...
Oh, you bloody white car. You can't just go execute everyone. It's not your fault. Yeah.
What the hell is he saying? I lost my accent.
Hold up.
Miss Inquisitor, what do you mean that these people shouldn't be able to live in a place like this?
I mean, it's impossible. Even if by some miracle they'd manage to survive, they should be suffering and starving. They clearly look too healthy. That's what I said!
I love how everyone is actually thinking rationally and much more communicative now. Back then, we'd be more like reluctant co-workers, but now, I think I can say we're friends. But the Inquisitor is making a pretty reasonable argument. We barely know these people and we don't even know the laws here. Plus, she doesn't even seem like a bad person, but mayors decide to speak up and shock the Inquisitor with 2 words. The profound silence. There was once a golden age of Iberia, the time when they controlled most of the southern coastline. Iberia used to be allied with the Aegir as they dominated the sea with advanced technology. However, one day, the seaborns begin to emerge from the ocean. At first, they were harmless, like a fish out of water. They were hunted and eaten. Despite the warnings from Aegir and other sages, the Iberian government ignored them. Eventually, the ocean died. Only for a few moments, there was no wave, no signal, no sound. The king at the time issued a nationwide broadcast.
Citizens, nobles, and royals, we have discovered abnormal readings, but fear not. I know that this enemy has done irreparable damage to our country. Your internet was cut off by none other than the cruelty that is the ocean. The army and I, Fernando Alejandro Ruiz de Castro Torres Rio Iberia del Atlas.
I'm not dramatizing, by the way. The king literally addressed all of his titles in the first sentence of his speech, which, by the way, due to the signal shortage, didn't even reach most of the Iberians and was cut off by a massive tsunami, toppling ships, buildings, and Iberians alike. While they tried to scream, the ocean smothered their sound. From waves crashing against the shore to the chiming of city clock towers, all noise faded away. The golden age was no more. Iberia was gone. And this was when the cultists began their activities. They swept into the destroyed nation, pretending to be Aegirs, and manipulated many of the survivors into joining the Church of the Deep. That's why the Inquisitors are so ruthless. Iberia became an isolated country after the incident and has been dealing with this threat ever since. Then the Inquisitor looked at mayors and deemed that she knew way too much. If an Aegirian knows this info, then there's a chance they're from the church. Dante orders the sinners to protect mayors. The Inquisitor raised her hand cannon. Then, Calzet appears to stop the fight. Damn! Dr. Calzet deflected the Inquisitor bullet, and that single bullet was like a cannonball because it punched through several buildings. Like, even if the buildings were dilapidated, that bullet just tore through the entire village. That actually explained how she has a 50% armor pen built into her kit. Oh yeah, and her name's Irene. Some of the sinners has never seen this much power. I mean, that makes sense. It's a taboo for a single person to hold this much firepower. Dr. Calzet is actually here to inform them that Rhodes Island is no longer an illegal.
You're so kind to us. Let us thank you for all you've done.
I knew it, I told you. Close eyes people are never to be trusted. The villager stabs the closest person to them with a dagger infused with seaborn flesh. Amiya rushed over to Dante to protect them, managing to deflect a dagger away. Then, Skadi came back and smashed the cultist. She was out all night to investigate. The chief was telling them to rejoice. He was happy. In fact, he didn't see this as a betrayal, more of a welcoming. Calzet told Dante the grave news. Your friends are going to die. Or worse, turn into a seaborn. They have been infested. No. This can't be. We've been through so much together. Oh well. Hey, can you guys kill my friends? I know this sounds bad, but what? You can't just give up on your friends yet. And we take them back to...
Job done.
What the heck? Revival.
How unfortunate. I had high hopes for all of you.
You guys good? Yep, Alright, let's take them down. In this fight against Fabius and the cultists, they will try to stack with debuff called Sea Terror Assimilation, which after 5 hits will instantly one-shot your sinners. Unfortunately, I have 5 million powers in Rise of Hungyun and can obliterate the entire games with my bands of furries. I don't think they thought this through when they released Moused. Oh, you get back here right this instant. Don't worry, there's nothing but sea in that direction. No, the boat! What kind of boat? It's called the Vessel Rebellion de la Masas.
What? That's a Golden Age boat.
We could try to build a raft and row after them.
Might, come on.
The vessel disappeared with every single villagers. Well, except they left mayors behind. Our plans have deviated due to the loss of the ship, but after careful consideration and negotiation, shout out to Dr. Kaldit, the Inquisitor decided to trust mayors. At least for a bit until we retrieve the ship. Due to it being a Golden Age vessel, none of the current boats can catch up, so we have to somehow find its location through the foggy ocean. To do that, we first have to search for a lighthouse. Due to the profound silence, most of the lighthouse were destroyed or in disrepair. Luckily, there's just one nearby apparently, according to mayors. But we need to build a raft for 17 people because Dr. Kaldit has to go visit the goat. We also need to prepare for a battle since there's bound to be seaborns.
Job's done.
Told you she had a PhD. Now this next part is pretty cool. So we get to see the crew rowing to the lighthouse, and mind you, lighthouses are freaking huge. I don't think you guys want me to rant about lighthouse, but these are called Eyes of Iberia and they are massive. But then, for some reason, Irene told everyone that not a single soldier or inquisitor has made it out alive in any attempts at recovering a lighthouse. That's not how you rally the people. That's okay though, because we have Skadi. Yeah, I'm gonna stay behind. For plot reasons, Skadi had to defend the raft while the rest of the group went to the entrance. They knew she was too OP for the story, but they made it to the entrance and was stopped by the flesh of the seaborn. At first, they were discussing on how to open the door because it kept regenerating. Then, we were about to go and call Skadi until we get this scene. Dante reached into Amiya's memory and extracted a new ego. We gave it to my girl, Ishmael.
한눈 팔지 마세요. 당신에게 파도는 반드시 밀려올 테니.
You see this? It's so cool to see how we even get the event ego. As we enter the lighthouse, we need to run through a gauntlet of enemies, introducing a new mechanic, the Nether Sea branch. Blue stuff. These Nether Sea founders, when killed, will cover the map in the blue stuff. If you stand on blue stuff, you lose 5% max HP and build up even more nervous impairment. Oh, but that's not all. When the blue stuff is on the field, all Seaborns get a buff to their attack. But honestly, as long as we clear the buff right away or avoid killing them, it's a pretty easy mechanic to deal with. The other new enemy is just a shotgun. But honestly, AoE is best in these gauntlet fights. We made it all the way to the top and Faust handled the repair with ease, which allowed us to radio in... What is this overwhelming intensity? Somehow, mayors know about this knight and told everyone that if we don't get down there to fight him right now, he will topple the entire lighthouse. So, without many options, Dante ordered all hands on deck and we descended the stairs to clash with the last knight, trusting mayors to finish the repair. Okay, this fight is honestly so cool. The last knight is a legendary figure that has been alive for possibly over 100 years. But he's kind of like Batman, but for the sea. Most people don't even know if he's real and have only known him from legends. Even he has forgotten himself after being alone at sea for so long. He fights the ocean and tries to kill the source of the Seaborn, but ended up getting corrupted over time. And this fight was no exception to that. I love when you get these choice options before a fight as well as the lore bit. I choose to attempt to talk to the knight, and after seeing that we aren't Seaborns, the knight went a little easier on us. His mechanic is about countering hits, and I'm guessing low center comp because the more you hit him, the more cold you'll build up. When that hits 3 stacks, your sinners will lose 20 sanity and is stunned for 1 round. That is an insane debuff. He also got a second phase as well as free 80% damage reduction. But counter argument, ruptures true damage, and I have 5 million powers now. Oh my gosh, he's doing it again! Wait. My whole team is frozen! It's up to you, Sinclair! Yes! 76 left. This guy is too strong. Irene is almost out of ammo and her lantern is nearly done. All of the sinners are getting tired and Dante tries to figure out what to do. That's when they saw it. Is that what I think it is? A bright light of an office worker. A Casimir knight who sits far from his glory. I can only hand this to someone who doesn't pursue that glory. Someone who can handle their own tarnished glory. Gregor. Show him what you got, Greg! The Radiant Knight!
이 검은, 이 명예는, 이 영광은 빛바래지 않을 테니.
Okay, that literally did nothing. Potential man strikes again. The last knight was about to ram us one last time and there was no way we can stop him. But just before he did, the lighthouse activated and Mayor found the vessel that got away. Their key home is still in sight. And yet, how can we— Don Quixote, don't get so close!
Oh, mighty knight, what is the name of thy noble steed?
Where is she? Dante.
Oh, my noble steed is also Rosciante. Here, look.
Don managed to talk the last knight into leaving somehow. Maybe they're too bonded on their shared love of horses. But Amiya contacted the doctors and they already infiltrated the vessel and cleaned the deck. So we headed back to the raft where Skadi is, and due to plot reasons, she's going to stay behind. But we finally get to the vessel, and this was when the most anticipated interaction begins. Dante, this is the doctor, researcher of Rhodes Island. Nice to meet you. The clock just ticked.
Oh, he said hello.
Okay. Thanks for making sure my surrogate daughter is okay. You know, I got pretty worried when we were separated at the borders. Dude, I should be thanking you and her, actually. I mean, we would have been in a—
That's too embarrassing to repeat.
Dante said we would have been in a real pickle without Miss Amiya. Huh. You know what? I like you, funny man. For the Limbus players, we got a demonstration of the Doctor's tactical mind. It turns out that the cultists have barricaded themselves inside of the control center, and in order to best approach, they're really good at this whole strategy thing, trying their best to minimize casualty and sacrifice. I'm out here just pressing the win rate button. Even Otis is talking with them.
It's okay, manager. It's not in your job description. Besides, you're more proficient with on-the-spot commands.
What are they on about?
I have no idea.
Before we begin the raid, Mayers was about to request something, but decided to hold off. Though she's going to hang back until everything is over. I feel like she's either going to be stuck between helping her grandpa or choosing to side with us, which in turn forcing her to betray us and turn into a final boss or something. I don't know. But real quick, I did not think Irene can make this face. But we finally get to boxing and surrounded the cultists. Rhodes Island style may be to protect and defend, but for us, trust in me to bring you back, no matter how many times they cut you down. This fight takes the combined force of everything we fought, only it's not that difficult. The reason why Arknights version is more annoying in a good way is because the enemy forces you to hit trigger them or don't even give you the ability to clean the blue stuff. But for Limbus case, I can just ignore the big guy while also not killing the blue stuff spawner until near the end. Even if I do boom them, I can just cleanse the first stage right away, making it feel like the mechanic isn't even there. Like, this only affects people who don't read. That little. He's running again! The cultists and other seaborn purposely block the way as we try and catch the bishop with the cult. Only... I knew it! Wait.
Oh, Bishop, eat me and gain the experience.
It turns out Mayor was the true bishop all along. The reason why Fabius wants Mayor to eat him is because that's actually how the seaborns adapt. The weak would feed themselves to the strong to prioritize survival. That's also partially why they aren't fully omnipotent yet, because they simply didn't think about passive adaptation. Regardless, Mayor's declined and allowed the sea to devour Fabius instead. Mayors didn't want to turn. Not yet. She was sad. She apologized for how her followers have been treating them. Of course we were mad. She deceived us. But it wasn't her intention. Though what really surprised me is that while she does want to turn us into seaborns, she doesn't want to force her beliefs onto other people. But look at where we are. We are close to the dimension hole, which means our home is just within reach. Mayers explained to us the reason why she knows so much. She saw the city, saw how everyone is suffering and having to live paycheck to paycheck. So, she wants to bring the seaborns to the city and assimilate everyone there. Before we talk about the city versus seaborn, I want to discuss her philosophy. Mayers is conflicted on turning because when you become a seaborn, you lose all sense of yourself and your ego. But that also means you will never have to worry about anything other than just living. No more fighting between one another, no more disagreements that could lead to altercation. But with everything Mayer has seen, she wants the seaborn to have dreams, not just to survive but to also live. And with that contradiction, she was confused. Still, she saw that humanity kept on fighting each other. Due to selfishness, we do bad things. But she admits that good things can also come from selfishness too. When the subject of discrimination came up, she said that if everyone's a seaborn, then that wouldn't even be a problem. She admires Rhodes Island and told them their efforts, no matter how small of a change it has been, is still worthwhile. She knows it takes time for change to happen, but she offers a solution. Why take all of those time when the people are now suffering and dying due to said discrimination and infection? Why let anyone else be a sacrifice? Heck, even when you hear the infected problem, there will still be people looking to say stupid things and hate on others' appearance. Just look at the real-life AIDS epidemic back in 1980s. This argument basically boils down to return to monkey. Except due to being in a hive mind, everyone and everything will work together. For my views on this, I would still refuse to join the Seaborns because I believe in Rhodes Island. While the idea of not needing to worry about anything other than survival is great, I prefer to be myself, an individual. I want to go out and achieve my own dreams. I want to see and create a bunch of random stuff. Despite the anxious time we live in now, I have no doubts that we can make it through, that you can make it through whatever ordeals you're going through. I mean, just look at our past. We created computers through putting rocks together and somehow put electricity in it. We went to space and landed on the moon. But I'm getting ahead of myself here. The sinner discussed the possibility of just letting the Seaborns through because there's no doubt that the hand could come for them due to being a different race. However, there's also the possibility of a loophole. While the Seaborns are weak the way they are now, any of the major company can just scoop them up, claim that these things are for research and, accidentally let them loose. Remember, these things adapt and the city is omega corrupt. That's why seeing Rhodes Island for them is mind-blowing. Heck, I don't even know how Rhodes Island make money. Like, contract job cannot be paying that much for someone like Exia to help us. So if one of the Seaborn just assimilated a highly advanced piece of tech, or better yet, just a color fixer, basically just assume they assimilated Skadi, that's it. There's no hand to defend the city. Plus, it would be nearly impossible for the wings to even work together because they see the destruction as a way to expand or make more money. Which leads to now. What do we do against Mayors? Well, while I was discussing and showing all of this, and because we are so close to the Limbus Company universe, Mayors begins to... What the heck is happening? Is this Limbus Company's specialty? Faust explained that Mayors is beginning to distort, her confidence broken and her ironclad will shattered. In the Limbus Company universe, having an extreme mental breakdown can cause you to enter a debate. It is said that a calming, gentle voice speaks with you during this time. If the person denies the voice, then they will manifest an ego, a massively powerful weapon or armor to defend themselves. If the person chooses to accept the voice and allow the emotion to take place, well... The voice continues to appeal to Mayors' desire, telling her that the light of the city can give her that hope she so wished for. Besides, she doesn't have to concern herself with what others think. While she's twiddling her thumbs right now, people are dying. You don't have to hide yourself. Okay, are we just gonna sit here? Somebody shoot her. Uh-oh, something's blocking our way. During the distortion event, there's this mysterious pressure that blocks people from interfering. Because of this, the only thing you can do is watch and prepare for a potential fight. Remember what I told you earlier? Because of your vulnerable mental state, it is nearly impossible to deny the voice. So So with one last push, the voice told her to follow through with her wish and desires before the compassion they believe in become completely worthless. Dante understood her feeling. Even they have seen the horror of the city due to their own amnesia, but they do not understand the Seaborn, Terra, or Iberia. We can't bring Mayors with us to the city as she is now. The distorted Mayors understood us and expressed her kindness towards our group. Again, she reiterates that she knows things can change and will change. She just wants to make that happen now. So, a gate that leads into her heart appears. Since this is Limba's specialty now, we decide to go inside along with the doctor, Amiya, and Irene. Mayer was an Aegirian scientist. She lived through the profound silence and even sympathized with the land dwellers. Unfortunately, racism. She went up to try and help, but they attacked her, robbed her, and destroyed her research.
Get out of here, you backwater net-breaking filthy ill.
That was really bad.
She tried everything to help despite of this, and still, they blame her people for the calamity and even arrested them. None of her research against the Seaborn did anything until she switched side. She saw that the Seaborns were truly altruistic. So that's why she became a bishop of the Church of the Deep. She saw the endless violence. Is it justifiable? Honestly, it made sense since she came up to help but was hugely discriminated against. They literally vandalized her ship with a name, by the way. But Irene was like, screw that, Seaborns are threats to humanity as a whole. Then Mayer told them she's literally going to leave to the city so Terra wouldn't have a problem. But Iberia and the Inquisitor will not push their problem onto other nation. Then Ishmael was like, yeah, even if you wrap that stuff up into a compassionate gift, we still don't want it. So Mayer got tired of this and started the Zerg rush. Rhodes Island plus Irene would defend the rear and allow Limbus Company to push forward and take down Mayors. Inside the Phantom, we fought through another gauntlet of Seaborns to reach Mayors. While fighting, we run into her memories, such as seeing an Aegirian being attacked by a mob. The mob blames the Sea People of causing the calamity. They must be the reason why everyone has lost something. But the Aegirian told them they were there to help. The research was brought to help the land dwellers, but the mob does not care. I couldn't let this go on, so I chose to help them, and thanks to Irene, we were able to disperse the crowd. However, the researcher began to doubt themselves. Why even bother helping these ungrateful land dwellers if they're just going to help me? To be honest, I agree. That's the emotion side of me talking. If I was the researcher, I'd just leave. But because I am an outsider in this case and because I want to help everyone, I think the best thing to do is to convince the Aegirian to stay and continue to help. Those people may not need it, but someone does. There's always going to be haters. So after landing a coin toss, the Aegirian was convinced and decided to shift their research. At first, I was worried because I accidentally made another cultist, but they told me they were gonna shift towards removing salt from soil so people can farm again. Whew, massive sigh of relief. They also gave us the research note, which, damn, 20% bonus damage is a lot, especially with the comp I'm running. After another fight with Sinclair triggering every single one of the crash out at once, we met an old man up on a cliff. He was reminiscing about the lighthouse and how he used to shine them towards the sea. We had two options, either tell the man to leave the cliff because it's dangerous or ask about the keys in his hand. He told me that a lighthouse keeper always has 3 keys on him. One to open the door, one to turn on the light, and one to send a message. Then, he insistently handed us the key, stating it won't be any use to him anymore. Then, he disappears. Upon checking the key, oh my gosh, what kind of key is this? Funny enough, I barely use ego in this game because of the let's just call it RPG hoarding. But with this new gift, I can basically spam them now. Before entering the Golden City that resembles the city in Limbus Company, we took a break. There was a sense of calm and banter, like when someone who I presume to be Irene told the doctor they need to work on their cardio some more or else Amiya will have to carry them on a piggyback ride. To which prompted Otis to tell Dante that we can trust her to carry us if need be. But while staying here, the Seaborns actually just passed by us, even giving us some concerned looks as if they were worried for us. All of our sinners healed up and we proceed to the final fight. The boss stage is simply one of the best Project Moon has ever designed, especially for a collab event. In this fight, Mayor the Yearning Flotsam is an incredibly tanky enemy, sparking a 100% damage resistance and 90% damage reduction to true damage sources. The mechanic is to fight her hordes of seaborns because each of their death deals damage to her. Amiya also gives us an emotional connection buff, which I actually like because it encouraged the usage of ego. But the real fight begins when you trigger her second phase. After getting her to half health, she pops a Zomain expansion, Event Horizon, spawning a black hole behind her as she rains down shards of blue stuff. We get to see more of Mayer's beliefs and backstory as she tries to figure out how to retain herself when she becomes a seaborn. But then, when the dimensional gate opened revealing the city, a voice spoke to her, claiming that the light from the city is what she needed. The light is referring to the White Night and Dark Days event that I will not be going into. But the sinners in Rhode Island argue against this sentiment. Yes, there are suffering. Yes, there are discrimination. But there are also people fighting every day against that. Her belief isn't what others are dreaming about. She doesn't fully understand the city. Now, both sides of the argument is pretty valid, and I wouldn't blame some of you for agreeing with the Seaborns.
What worth could there be to a life of the unkind? The kind of life humanity is doomed to exist in, where all we ever do is hurt and hate one another.
Listen, efficient order, natural altruism, they're both virtues humanity should never lose sight of. There's no such thing as absolute when it comes to the value of life. Survival is the right of all civilization, which means that it should never be up to others to define the worth of life. Mayers didn't want to keep trying to find an answer. She was tunnel vision on this being her solution. She was afraid to continue on alone, to wander aimlessly again. But she doesn't have to shoulder this burden by herself. She should try talking more. If you thought this fight was easy, then you haven't seen anything yet. Her second phase is her actively doing something. This time she dropped her damage reduction, but to make up for it, she does a lot of unstoppable damage. Honestly, there's not much to say other than it's a very aesthetically cool boss. Dante asked Mayor if she still wanted to go to the city, to which she finally returned to normal and answered no. She'll remain on Terra and broaden her studies. She'll choose to talk more so that she can find a new path and fulfill her wish. With that, the phantom fades, leaving us back on the vessel. Mayers is now unconscious due to the heavy mental strain she was put under, and despite being misguided, Rhodes Island will be sure to help her out. Though she must deal with the Inquisitor judgment first. But with everything over, it's time to... What the heck? Oh my gosh! Just when we thought it was over, a giant Leviathan appears and slams into the ship. Then Skadi? What the heck? Weren't you at the lighthouse? Apparently, she told us that the Leviathan is after her since she's an abyss hunter as well as having a special kind of blood. Again, go watch my other video for that. But what's important right now is to not sink into the seaborn infested ocean. Oh my gosh, another seaborn? It's going to be fine, Miss Inquisitor. If that's the knight from earlier, then I doubt he'll be able to stop himself from charging that giant sea monster. Yeah, I'm jumping too. That is so cool. The dimension gate is closing, which means we didn't get a chance to say a proper goodbye. But the sinner leave as Amiya wave and the rest say their goodbyes. Oh, we're back in H-Corp. Man, it all felt like a dream. A really real dream. Even got these strange egos too. Huh. I remember these strange words from someone. Alright team, let's get back to work. I'm not gonna lie, this video is a bit late. I mean, I was really busy making a Doctor video and trying to survive, so I only got 5 days to enjoy the collab. Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. Amazing event. I don't know if I already said that. I don't really care that the collab egos are limited. My only concern was not getting a Mia in time. But overall, a solid story. I like how they made it into the canon. I also like the message as well because at the end of the day, both games are set in a terrible world, yet it contains so much hope for a better future and people working towards it. Okay, tambe.